Chef Philip is a very tenacious chef that came to Orlando to dive into dynamic cuisine, which Teak picked me up. And now that I'm here at Teak, I'm evolving. What inspired me as a chef was when I was a child, I asked my mom for a fishing pole and a cast net. I got one a week later, and I just constantly fish and fish. I filled up 5-gallon buckets, brought them home. Random things, it could be shellfish, fish, crabs, I don't know what they are. All I know is they moved and I caught them in the cast net. Brought them home, my mom showed me how to cook them, and from there it's just evolving. Yes, seafood is one of my top-notch things. Yes, it is, I love seafood. My mother taught me a lot. She inspired me just a little bit, but it's the self-motivation I gained as a child of watching others and doing as I see. Now, bringing home the item to cook it was awesome. Besides just throwing it in a pot and boiling it, it was a lot more to that. My mom added potatoes and Old Bay, a lot of mustard. It was terrific. Today in Orlando, I thrive for the best. I look for the best. Every challenge is accepted. Please send it my way. That's a very good question. I get asked that every single day. Do I go home and still cook? That's a demand of mine, that even though I cook here 12 hours a day, do I still go home and cook? Yes, I do. Now, what do I make? It varies. Like tonight, I actually have avocados and salmon set up for me, so when I go home, I'm gonna slice them up. But it brings me back to some of the cuisine I was studying before I came to Teak. So I just slice it up real thin. It'd be like sashimi grade. You know, that's my absolute favorite. Do we serve that here? No, but I love it. I absolutely love it. I love Thai food. I cooked Thai food for a little bit at home, like 10 years ago. My old sous chef was a Thai chef from Thailand, so he taught me a lot, and I love it. It's like a big bowl of fire. You get a bowl of fire, and you're just like, face is already drenching because you haven't got into it. Yes, and there's a lot of flavor. Number one ingredient in my kitchen is potatoes. We go through a lot. Number two would be ground beef. We go through 680 pounds of Angus a week. That's number one. Number three is smiles. I gotta have smiles in my kitchen. That's the main ingredient I see that it goes around in my kitchen constantly. Well, staying up with the fad in the culinary world is a tough one. Being everywhere and being into politics is key, but paying attention to what's going around, other cuisines, watching TV, which I don't do, reading magazines, I do all the time, culinary ads, I'm completely into. I dive into the culinary world as much as I can. I have a bookshelf about the size of this patio, it seems like, at home, full of culinary books. And most of the things in those books aren't out today. So sometimes I create the fad, you know, which is here at Teak. We do things to the max. Yesterday, we did something that's not done in Orlando, ice cream and waffles. Nobody does that around here. It's a tough challenge to stay on top. It's easier to retain a champion than to become the champion, in my eyes. Yeah, once you're number one, I can retain number one. You know, because when the challenger presents their item or product, it's like, oh yeah, I've already done that. You're behind. Let me show you an updated version of that. You know, that's where we tweak it here at Teak. You know, it's what makes us number one. I don't know, I think that's a perception from people that don't work in a kitchen. To me, a chef is a leader. It's at all domains. It doesn't matter from the beginning of the door to the back of the door. I cultivate all employees, I lead them, and I motivate them. From being an artist, from production to the end of the day, I try to do all aspects. I don't do one realm. I feel like there shouldn't be a wall in anywhere. You have to combine it all. Being a leader in the kitchen is also cultivating. So when you're cultivating, they will start following you a lot more. And when they start following you, being a chef, it'll inspire you more, to dig more, to teach more. And yes, sometimes we become Gordon Ramsay in the back, but that's just the pressure. It comes and goes, and at the end of the day, we're all high-fiving. As the perception as a chef, yeah, we probably all look like Gordon Ramsay, but really we're not. Really, we're not. We're actually more like waiting, just without all the shenanigans. What do you expect when you come to Teak? You expect a unique experience here at Teak. It's gonna be your first time, and it'll always be your first time, even if it's your 10th time coming. That's what you'll expect. Everything is always the same, but everything seems to be so dynamic every time you get it. It's either that it gets bigger, or just the wow factor just keeps getting more wow. I don't know how else to explain that. It's amazing here at Teak. And now that John and Chris took over, I mean, they want to push the limits. I love pushing limits. There's no boundaries with these gentlemen, and I like that a lot. Here at Teak, we're #1 for burgers for a reason, because we have the #1 burger, and we will always have the #1 burger. They're the biggest, and they're also the heaviest. You know, we have healthy options also. And if you want to go from your donut to your cheat day to the caprese burger, which we photo shooted earlier today, which is still healthy, but it has bread on it. That's why we're #1. What it takes to make a #1 burger is the passion that we put into it. It's not just the height, it's the ingredients we choose. They're extremely local. They're within 10 miles from here. We get all our ingredients local. We get a delivery every single day here. If it's not ground beef, if it's tomatoes, if it's lettuce or potatoes, we hand make everything fresh every single day. So our passion with my team members in the back, my passion that I give to them, they put into the food. So yes, we're #1 due to the kitchen passion that we put in there. So the process of the #1 burger is we throw the burgers right on the flame. Big flame, lots of heavy seasoning, salt, kosher salt, pepper. Sometimes we add house seasoning on the chicken when it's open flame. When we're grilling it, we make sure we get the deepest marks because we want all that flavor coming from the grill. Everybody loves that char flavor. I love that char flavor. And when we're stacking it on top of the burgers, we add that onion jam that's really, really, really rich in flavor. The roasted cherry tomatoes, after we roast them, that just makes it more in depth in flavor when we put the burger on it with the provolone cheese. The house-made Teak chips that we make in the house that are best you'll find in Orlando. We put the white cheddar cheese sauce right on top, so it's just dripping right off the side of the burger. And when we cap it and put it on, we always throw love right on top of it, which is fresh parsley.